An air traffic controller's mistake. The First Lady's plane had to abort its landing at Andrews because the military plane on the ground had not cleared the runway. In the end, her plane landed safely. The White House is not commenting publicly right now, and the FAA is investigating this after a Cleveland air traffic controller and his manager were suspended after the controller was found to be watching a movie while on duty. Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. David Rare is an economics professor at George Washington University. Ben Ferguson is a radio talk show host, and Leslie Marshall is a Fox News contributor. Leslie, let's start with you. Serious stuff here. I mean, it's getting scary. A new report every day, and now the First Lady.
Well, there's no excuse for this. And to me, this isn't about, oh, they're union employees. This is about their bad employees, whether they're badly trained, whether we're not raising the bar, and should we, and the standard for those that are in positions that deal with life and death, as air traffic controllers clearly do. So there's absolutely, in my opinion, no excuse to have employees doing this. And quite frankly, in any profession, right, Jerry? No, you know, people shouldn't be sleeping on any job, and certainly on this job, and watching movies as well.
Well, and this is a totally different kettle of fish. Ben, you know, it makes me wonder, have we just not heard about previous stories prior to this? Is this a brand spanking new problem, or has it been going on for a long time?
I think people are just not paying attention to it. I mean, you look at this and the problems they're having. They were probably having these same things and these same issues before now. Now, though, we're starting to hear about it, starting to investigate it, and people are starting to give more information out there. I think one of the problems is this is what happens when you're dealing with unions. It's very hard to let people go within the FAA. If you talk to people that work there, and they said, hey, there are some bad people in towers that should not be there that are there, but they're protected. And this is part of the issue is you can't just walk in there and fire people. They have to investigate, suspend it, and then put them down in a different mark and let them work their way back up, when really they should just be gone when you mess up this bad.
Well, David, what is the root of this problem? Is it unions? Is it the fact that there's lax oversight? What's going on?
You know, I don't think it's necessarily that they're unions. I think the problem is accountability and transparency with the FAA. The FAA is afraid to tell people and report on air traffic controllers messing up because it scares the bejeebies out of all of us, and we won't want to fly. And I think transparency, accountability, the good news is not only did the controller be suspended, but his boss did as well. And you have to hold the whole chain of command responsible when people make mistakes like these.
Well, it has everybody worried. This next story should have you worried. Yahoo plans to extend the amount of time it retains records on what its users search for online. Now, this is only about 2 years after breaking from the other big internet search engines and promising to delete such data promptly. Ben, what do you think of this? These stories really get me riled up.
People, you know, what's funny is I think they look at it and say, hey, will people stop using Yahoo if we, you know, are they going to stop searching with us? And the answer is we've seen this through Google and all the issues that come out with them this year. At the end of the day, people still go to that search engine and still are willing to do that and let them keep their information. Yahoo and Google and all these others, they know this is how they make their money. I don't like it, but the question is the average American going to stop using their product? And unfortunately, as of now, it looks like people say, I'll deal with it.
Well, Leslie, won't people draw the line in the sand at some point?
Well, you know, Ben, we rarely agree, but here's one time. You know, I think people, you know, I gotta admit, I'm a Google gal, and you know, I'm not sitting there going, well, they're collecting my information for 3 months, 6 months, or 18 months. Yahoo has to, in a sense, and I think they're looking at their numbers, like Ben said, keep up with the not Joneses, but the Googles and the other search engines out there. And right now, that's what all the other companies are doing is 18 months. So Yahoo's like, hey, it didn't help us any. If you can't beat them, join them.
Well, David, you're an economist. I mean, come on, there's got to be some market for people who want to have their privacy protected.
Right. This is a bad decision for Yahoo. Google has 66% of the search engine market. Yahoo has about 20%. By being like the leader, you just degenerate your own business model. And I think from a business perspective, they should have stuck with the 3 months, used it to market to people. We're not going to keep your data for 18 months, and you should go to our search engine. But unfortunately, they're doing what everyone else is doing, and I think that's going to hurt their bottom line.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, there is a market, if not for privacy, then for swearing. Next time you stub your toe or get a paper cut, let the 4-letter words fly. Turns out a new British study says swearing or cursing can actually ease the pain, at least for those who don't normally use expletives. Ben, are you one of those people? Ben, are you there?
Yeah, no, am I one of those people? As long as I'm not on the air, I can promise you that. If I'm on radio or TV, you better use all the other words, because otherwise I'm out of a job. But I do think it's pretty funny. At least now, grandparents will have an excuse in front of their grandkids. My grandfather, I laughed the first time he ever swore was when he slammed his hand in the door, and I thought it was hysterical. He didn't, but my mom was not too happy. But hey, now I can say, hey, he was just trying to feel better.
That's right. Leslie, what do you say here? I know you got kids, so you're probably have a pretty clean act, but make you feel better. I mean, that's your excuse now if you ever, just let loose with a word that you shouldn't.
Well, I have to tell you, Jerry, I was wondering why I was pain-free for so many years, I've got to tell you, having kids, it is harder because instead of letting it rip, it's now just jumping up and down, and then they're like, "Are you hurt, Mommy?" Yeah. So I like that they're now justifying. They're it's okay, let it rip. But before my kids, I have to admit, off the air, I had a mouth like a truck driver. Bad me.
But that's over. Those days are long gone. David.
Oh, behind me, way behind.
David, do you believe this? I mean, it seems a little suspicious to me.
Yeah,
like
actually,
an excuse, maybe.
Right. Actually, if you look at the study, it was of 71 undergraduates. Those were divided into people who swore less than 10 times a day and those that swore more than 40 times a day. And the result of less pain is 10 seconds less of a hand in cold water. So, this is kind of pseudoscience. Grab the headline, but I wouldn't put too much in it. Even the author of the study advised the British government not to encourage people to use profanity.
Well, the Brits making their decisions on the basis of a rigorous study and research.
Yeah.
Go figure. All right. David, Ben, and Leslie, thank you. Appreciate your time today. Great job. We'll be right back with